Hi, gorgeous soul, and welcome to Spiritually Empowered Podcast. This show is your go-to place to learn all about your psychic intuitive gifts, explore and unveil taboo topics, and discover new ways to walk in power on this planet that is undergoing a massive transformation. We each came here with a higher calling. This podcast will catalyze you into yours. I love to simplify and refine ancient mystical teachings and practices, let you in on my most personal revelations and shifts, as well as bring on soul-inspiring guests to support you with embodying your power and saying yes to your destiny today. I am so excited to dive deep with you. Let's begin. Hello, beautiful soul, and welcome to the Spiritually Empowered Podcast. Let's breathe. Just receive your breath in this moment. Many spiritual practices talk about observing the breath. And in this moment, I want to invite you to luxuriate in the breath. To breathe like you are aware that you've chosen life today, that you were given life today. How are you? If you are new to this show, I am so happy that you're here. If you are a returning listener, maybe you've been listening for a couple months or a year, or you're an OG, member of the tribe, hi, thank you so much for being on the journey. Welcome in, exactly as you are. I am Ashley. I am the spirit guide, the intuitive, the spiritual leader at Winged Alchemy, the founder, the CEO, the priestess, whatever fun, fancy label I might want to use or you might want to use at any given time. I am a friend, a community member, and a person who is really passionate about waking up to the true self, waking up to life, waking up out of our challenging habits and patterns, waking up to who we are as a spiritual being encased in a human body and a human world. Because I truly believe that we are both. We are the bridge between earth and spirit. We are the bridge between yin and yang. We are the bridge between polarities, sun and moon. And when we forget our spiritual essence, we suffer. It's called avidya, suffering due to ignorance, or I like to say forgetfulness. So let me just do an intro. It's been a couple months and we're all out here growing and evolving and descending into the body, hopefully, because it's not all about going up and getting better and rising higher. It's really just as important to root, to ground, to be fully human, to be in this experience, to deepen into presence. So we want to rise and we also want to root, to deepen. So let's start there. Surrendering to gravity in this moment. Can you hear my voice and feel your body relax? How are you? Who are you? Where are you? Let's attune to the moment. This path of awakening can feel so esoteric and even fluffy and even philosophical and dreamy. And I'm a Pisces. I'm all about it. But you know what I love is practicality in the spirituality. Because the mystic archetype is the practitioner of spirituality. The mystic is doing the practices in the physical world. The mystic is opening themselves up to the moment, to channel, to be a vessel for healing. So if there's a worry, if there's a doubt, if there's something you can exhale and give up, go for it. If you feel heavy somewhere in your body and you want to breathe out and release, go for it. You deserve that. You are worthy of feeling lighter and also deepening into presence, which is a grounded, it can be a heavy, kind of rooted feeling. Again, we are uniting the levity with the grounded presence. Let's presence with the earth. Is it nighttime where you are? Is it sunny out? What season is it? Can you feel the earth? Can you hear nature right now? Attuning to the natural world is attuning to yourself. Let's just breathe and slow down that breath. So this feels like a relaunch of the podcast because I truly feel like a different person. Once again, North Node in Scorpio. For all the astrology people out there, and if you love astrology and want to learn more, this is definitely the show for you. I am North Node in Scorpio, and so that is the path of soul transformation. The phoenix, the eagle, rising from the ashes of the past. Consuming doubt with love and transforming it into something that is useful. So let me do a little intro. This is the place to be if you are a passionate, empathic, sensitive, artistic, creative who wants to experience their personal heaven on earth and contribute to the healing of our collective via your unique gifts and your medicine. Your medicine is your healing gifts. Your practice of living as the embodiment of the alchemy of your past wounds that you are turning into your superpowers. If you love psychic abilities, if you love learning how to walk in your power, if you love world spirituality, even a little bit of world religion, I personally am not a religious person, and I truly do love dipping into all paths of spirituality that are rooted in love. Some things I love to bring into this space are Zen Buddhism, Hinduism and the roots of yoga, Western magic and occult practice, quantum physics and modern day energy science that really does line up with the ancients and how they view the world. Also, shamanism, shamanic healing, energy medicine, tantra, union of feminine and masculine, yin and yang, far beyond gender. This is the energetics of wholeness. If you are into those things, then we're going to be friends. This is going to be great. And I just want to say that I started this podcast sitting up against my bed at midnight, like a couple years ago, literally talking into my phone. No fancy equipment, like no editing. I don't know how my phone had the storage, first of all, because I can go for a while. But essentially, that's where I'm returning to right now. It's 10:57. I do have a microphone, a $30 Amazon mic. We're moving up in the world. That's okay. I would honestly still be sitting here recording on my phone, though, if that's the resource that I had. The message will get out. And to my right, I have a lit candle. I have a sleeping kitty named Uni, short for Universe, my little rescue girl. And I hear the crickets and the sounds outside. And I'm just remembering the feeling of starting this show years ago, and now it's international. We have listeners from all over the world, and it's just really special to feel the evolution here with you. So thank you. Thank you for being here. I trust this is exactly what your soul wants to tap into right now. And breathing your breath through the whole journey. I want to start with a little intro of me and who I am, just a little brief, and catch you up. Like what's been happening in the last couple months? Let's breathe. So I'm a sensitive being who grew up with a lot of beautiful privilege, amazing parents, family, and trigger warning right away. I should start every episode with that, or you should just know that that's the case here, is that needs to be said. So beautiful family. I'm the younger daughter in my family. It's me and my sister, mom and dad. They're still together. Praise God. And this is my journey. My deepest pain in the world had to do with spirituality and feeling spiritually attacked every single night for many, many, many years, from when I was a crib to when I was about in high school. And then I still dealt with these experiences for many years after high school. And when I was a younger person, I knew that I had a purpose here. I always felt this quite visceral, intense energy running through my body of, this is an important lifetime. And at the time, that would overwhelm me to the point of tears. I remember being on canoe trips with my dad and crying on the way home, really overwhelmed with this visceral feeling of, damn, I just feel like I'm here to do something big and I don't know what it is. So that was intense inside my body. And at the same time, I always knew, probably middle school time, that my deepest struggles were going to be how I made a difference. I always connected the dots there. I was a young person that had a lot of trouble sleeping in their room at night because I felt all these spiritual attacks. So I said, okay, then I'll help kids sleep in their room at night. And then I went into high school and dealt with really, really intense, to the point of extreme, depression and anxiety. And I said, okay, I'll help people with depression and anxiety. Then I found my drug of choice and had a 7-year addiction. I was not a light user by any means. This was all day, every day. And I said, okay, I actually said this before I stopped using my drug of choice. I said, I wonder if I'm in this addiction so that I can help other people on the other side of this. Like, I wonder. So some part of me always was tapped into the higher purpose of my unique challenges, because honestly, I knew they weren't so unique. I knew that these are things that are happening on this planet that is at a point of crisis, meaning we are at the edge of evolution. Alanis Morissette, by the way, has a song, side note, Edge of Evolution. Just go listen to it and just have a dance with me. It's a great song. And a lot of people will say that I look like Alanis Morissette. And it just, anyways, side note, it's really fun. And that's a great song. So we are at the precipice of a new Earth. No, we're not getting a new planet Earth, but we are having a shift in consciousness on this planet at this time. The time that we are in this moment, has been prophesized by ancient shamanic indigenous cultures for hundreds and hundreds of years. This is written and encoded into the karmic story of the earth herself. This time of upheaval, great purging of the past, and expansion of consciousness. Now, this is happening on both an individual and collective level. We are always mirroring our environment. We know this with quantum physics, that we are all freaking connected. I'm seeing in Buddhism the Indra's net, that we are all these reflections of these jewels. At an energetic level, we are made of the same stuff. And when one person alters their consciousness, it sends a wave through the field of the collective consciousness and stirs an awakening. That's for better or for worse. Now, when we stir that awakening in the name of love and healing and empowerment, that's a stronger force. So I just want us to feel that right now. And Joel Osteen, and I'm not saying I support what he does. I mean, I've gotten some cool messages from him. The point is, he has this quote that's like, the forces that are for you are stronger than the forces that are against you. Can we just feel that? The forces that are for you are stronger than the forces that are against you. Love is a stronger frequency. It actually eats fear. What? Yeah, it does. Love doesn't look at fear and say, you're bad, I need you to go. Love fucking, first F word of the episode, 15 minutes in, cool. Love says, swallow, and starts chewing it. Like a snake eating its tail, like a jaguar eating its lunch. Love consumes. Now, why do mothers, I'm not a mother yet, but why do parents say, you're so cute, I just want to eat you up? Why do we say that? I want to eat my cat's little toes. Why do we say that? Well, because love, my darling, is all encompassing. Love is like a flickering candle in a dark stadium, where the light just consumes the darkness. Love is, I want to take you in as my own. Love in relationships, the humankind, is your best interests are now my best interests. So you are attuning not what you want from the other person, but you are attuning to their best interests. That is love. Love takes you in and love takes you on. So love doesn't say, I judge you, fear, be casted into the hell. Love doesn't say, castrate you and cut you and sever you. Love doesn't sever. Love doesn't say, I cast you into the darkness. Love says, I'm going to open my mouth and I'm going to eat you alive. Can we just feel that? And it's a little funny. Can we just feel that? The candle flame doesn't argue with the dark stadium. It consumes the dark. And this is nature, and this is our nature, and this is the nature of unconditional love. What did Jesus do? He sat with the people that were the quote-unquote rejects of society. You can sit at our table. Now, that doesn't mean I'm open to energies that don't serve love. You know I got my boundaries, and if you don't, then welcome to Winged Alchemy, because we love our spiritual boundaries in this space. What it does mean, however, is you walk with a fierce depth of compassion for all things and beings everywhere. Unconditional love means to love without conditions. It doesn't mean not having boundaries. It means loving without conditions. So love is never removed from you, no matter what you do or what you say. People throw around unconditional love. I want to see you walk it. I want to see you practice it. I want to see somebody cut you off in traffic. I don't really want to see that, but my point is, I want to see somebody cut you off in traffic and you chill, you love and you chill. I want us to start walking as love. We can talk about it all day. I don't care if you have tattoos all over your body, jet black hair, you look spooky, you got your first of all, you're pretty cool. You got your leather jacket on, these freaking Ozzy Osbourne glasses, and you to somebody else might look like a Satanist. Now, you might have a heart of gold. And somebody who is preaching in a church might have the seed of evil. So coming out of the age of Pisces, we are coming out of illusion. And looks can be deceiving. We are coming out of the facade of spirituality, the facade of these high priests and these beings who feel elevated above the human experience and who end up sometimes committing heinous crimes of violence and abuse. And then people who are judged and who might look like a drug dealer and who might look, can I say that on here? I think so. Who literally might look spooky as fuck. I don't know, even have a pentagram on them. And they might be the sweetest frickin' person. So I just want to say that we got to look a little deeper than the facades here. And we have our spidey senses open. We're intuitive. And your intuition requires you to be in your body and listening and attuning. So we are coming into the earth, into the body. Let's just take a deep breath or two. Just filling your body with breath and feeling the seed of unconditional love inside of you. Grow it now. Expand it. Consume any doubt. Consume any fear. Just like the jaguar consumes the rabbit for dinner. This is the cycle of life. So I want to go into a teaching on the power of prayer. You might hear my cat chewing and crunching in the background. And I feel really called to talk about this, and I don't know where I'm going to go with it, and I was going to share some other things, but here we are. I am listening to the call. So with our words, we shape reality. If you say, I can't do blank, or if you say there's no good men in the world, or all drivers in New York suck, or the men here are blank, or when you make statements like this, you are forming reality in the way that you are speaking. Every word that comes out of your mouth is forming reality. With our words, we create, for better or for worse. And sometimes I'll be listening to songs and it will be so self-defeating that I'm thinking, why would anybody ever frickin' listen to this, much less sing this like a mantra? It blows my mind that we are singing songs about chaos and violence and confusion. These are called mantras. And when we sing songs and repeat lyrics, the unconscious mind, when you study it, it never turns off and it's always absorbing what you're saying, especially what has emotion behind it and what's repetitive. And what does music do? So a massive part of this shift in consciousness on the planet has everything to do with our sovereignty. And I went so deep this week into this with one of my mentors. We went so deep, and then I woke up the next morning. We went deep into shadow work and just tracking a core wound and alchemizing the energy. It was so powerful. And then the next day, I rewrote or really edited my soul contracts for this lifetime. No, I didn't use plant medicine. No, I didn't take mushrooms. And I sat on my meditation cushion, and I'm not judging any of that. I don't even have to say it. I'm not judging any of that. You don't need anything but your practice to go to different realms. I am so passionate about that. I've been in recovery for 8 years. And I've sat with plant medicines in that time. I'm not saying I haven't, but I'm saying right now, and my passion is clarity of consciousness. Your being is the technology. You are the medicine. You are the medicine. So I sat on my meditation cushion and I edited my soul contracts for this lifetime. In the way that I have learned to move energy, to heal, to invoke. This is the power of the mystic. We are practicing spirituality. We are practicing power, divine powers. It's through the voice. It's through the voice. I don't plan hardly any of my classes, ever. I'm studying constantly. I'm in absolute awe and love. I was just taking my course on theology before I pressed play on this. Absolutely in love with what I do. That I don't have to plan anything. Especially when I go teach in recovery, I'm driving over there, about to walk into a room of 20, 30 people. And I present an hour class or teaching or exercise or experience off the cusp every single time. And I plan a little bit and I do my due diligence and I put playlists together. And in my planning, though, is my life study. Before I arrive to teach, to do anything, I always do this. I never miss it. And it goes something like this. I say it out loud. God, I pray that you speak through me today. I pray that every word I say be rooted in love. Thank you for speaking through me. I am shielded from taking on any energy that does not serve the highest love. I am surrounded by unconditional love. I am sovereign. I am protected, and I am a messenger of love and healing. And so it is. And I snap my finger, and so it is. And I take that deep breath and I walk in with the glow of God. Not the religious God. I'm not religious. You weave your beliefs in however you want to weave them in. I've had an experience of re-owning that word God, and that's for another time. And I might have actually talked about that on a previous podcast. I believe I have. I always do this. I move energy with my voice. And you can practice, my love, feeling yourself fortified in your voice. I am only open to the highest and greatest good today, period. With your word, you direct energy. And if you don't direct your energy or your focus for today, you're practicing being a drifter. Now, Napoleon Hill talks a lot about the drifter in his book, Outwitting the Devil, and I recommend that book. I've listened to it on Audible, honestly, 2.5, 3 times. It is so relevant. That's the word. It is so relevant to these days, and it is a life-changing book. And it really talks about how if we don't set the tone gets randomly set for us. If we don't wake up and program ourselves for love and beauty, the media, the songs, and the world will program us. And this is actually, for me, how I can learn how to let go of control a little bit more. Because I set my firm foundation and then I relax inside of it. This is holy union. If I don't set that container for my day, then I might not be able to fully relax. It's like when I present something, I show up at a certain time, I dress a certain way, and when I sit my ass in that chair and I'm looking at all of these souls, I am fully attuned to the oracle, or I am fully in the flow of the moment. I'm not thinking about what I'm going to say. I am attuning to those beside me. And we need that structure in order to channel, right? That's one of the reasons why I created the 6-month Winged Alchemy Mystery School. Doors open twice a year. P.S. Doors are going to open in October, and definitely get in here because life is just lifing, and this is the room to be in if you are here to practice your powers, to unite with your calling, and to sit in sacred community and really move this ship forwards on this planet. I created these structures in my life so that I could soften into them. The mystery school, we show up at these days, we have our whole 6-month calendar out, and now I have these days where I go in and teach recovery. So these structures I put into place very consciously because honestly, I felt quite strained without them. I felt quite overwhelmed without these formulated structures in my daily life. So back to the voice. How are you speaking and what are you saying? If you woke up tomorrow and said out loud, a new door is opening for me today. The energy is clearing. My mind is strong. Your body starts responding like it's already happening. Do you know what's real? The placebo. Do you know what's real? A lucky bracelet. Do you know what's real? The power of your mind. Psychosomatic health, psychosomatic disease. How you think, so you be. What you dwell on, so you create. So put that bracelet on and say, guess what, boo? Today it's your lucky bracelet. Make it up. Make it up. That's why magic works. Magic works. Why? Because it's the placebo. That's one of the reasons. Why does it work? Because we believe it to be so. So if you're chanting all day, if your mantra is, I am beautiful, I am beautiful, I am beautiful, and the words don't have weight and they're not being felt, it's not creating the change. It's just words, blabber. You've got to pray and you've got to feel. It's like those preachers that are up there preaching the love and the whole room gets moved. I don't care about the religion piece. You're preaching love right now. You are waking us up right now. Can you feel the power in a strong voice? That's in you. Don't externalize that and wish you had that. You have that. I used to be petrified of singing in public, to the point where I said, I could live happily ever after if I can just sing on stage and not hold back. Well, good job, Ash. You did it. I've sang on stage for hundreds of people. I am liberating my voice and I'm just at the precipice. There's always more depth. There's always more pleasure. There's always more love. Want to know why? Because love doesn't have a ceiling. Want to know why you never stop healing? Because love has no ceiling. There's always more love. There's always more abundance. There's always more pleasure and bliss. There is no cap. So we continue to heal. We continue to spiral. Spiral meaning go back to things and revisit them and heal some more. Healing means wholeness. Healing means wholeness. Your words have weight. And that, not missing piece, but that key or that next awakening or that next blessing over your life has something to do with your words and your voice. How are you declaring yourself as sovereign? You know what I said with my mentor the other day in a session with him? I said, at the deepest level of my being, I claimed my sovereignty. I said something like, nothing has dominion over me. I do not consent any energies to be within or around me or influence me that do not serve love. And that's not anger in my tone. It's fierce mama jaguar love. It's motherly love. It's kalima. It's deep love. It's incredible love. So how will you use your voice after remembering this? What lyrics will you listen to? What shows? What will you absorb into your psyche now knowing this? That everything you see and repeat, especially, is getting written into your subconscious coding. And your subconscious coding is creating 90% of your life. You can Google it right now. How much of my life is controlled by my unconscious mind? Well, over 90%. And your unconscious mind is the mind of symbols, emotions, memories, and it doesn't know time. So you can think of a memory from your past and your whole body will get flooded with the hormones of your past. That can be called psychosomatic illness. When you think yourself sick, your mind is so powerful. Your consciousness is so powerful that you can think yourself into a hole. Listen, raise your hand. If I was in a group, raise your hand if you thought yourself into a hole. Me, 100%. 100%. Now, the good news is you can think yourself out of the hole. But remember, Einstein said, I think it was him, he said, I tried and I tried and I tried and I tried to figure out the answer and I tried and then I went for a swim. So it's that quote of you can't solve a problem at the same level of consciousness that created it. Go for the swim. Let it go. Go draw a picture. Write on a whiteboard. I used to love that. Go do something. Let it go. Don't stay in the mind. Go into the body. Go play and the answers will come. And declare that you're walking into the answers. All right, just like the Buddha, I'm not getting up from this tree until I'm awakened. That's pretty badass. So we are always dancing with this co-creative power with God because honestly, what I've learned is that I probably have way less control than I thought. And then on other days, I'm like, damn, I have way more control than I thought. So it's always this dance of balance between effort and surrender. Like when you're in a yoga pose. If you're too tight and squeezed up in a yoga pose, you're not going to be able to breathe. If you're too loosey-goosey in a yoga pose, your muscles are flopping, you're going to fall over. So what's the sweet spot? Have you been too, focused on your vision and you need to do a dream release ceremony where you give it up? You say, take it. Take it. God, the divine. Or maybe you've been a drifter recently. Maybe you've been drifting and you need to claim your vision and use your powers. And maybe it's both. Only you know. My message for you is every word that comes out of your mouth, please make it a prayer of personal and collective power. Every word. In Buddhism, they have a word called dukkha, which is suffering. And a part of Buddhism is not speaking in a way that creates more dukkha. It's not acting in a way that creates more dukkha. It's not living in a way that creates more dukkha. It is, I think sukha is the opposite to that. Don't quote me on that. I'll throw it into Google after this. But the idea is stop creating more suffering with your words. And I'm right there with you. Let's speak power over our bodies, power over our dreams, power over our visions, power over our friends. Oh my God, I love to talk my friends up. I look them in the eyes. Do you know how stunning you are today? You're so intelligent and you're so wise. I love doing this so much. It fills me up. In the quantum model, I'm talking to myself as I'm talking to them. So whatever somebody's gossiping about somebody else, you're gossiping about you. And whatever somebody's saying about somebody else in the quantum model of reality, you're saying it about yourself. One finger's pointing out, one finger's pointing back to you. And I know that whoever's listening to this podcast is probably likely not spending their time gossiping, and we're all human. We're all human. We all have judgments. This is just a reminder to celebrate your people, to celebrate yourself, and to speak power and love over your precious soul. And we can pray, and then we can bring that prayer into the body and feel belief in the prayer inside the body. Our prayers are incomplete without this piece. Shaman Durek taught me this. You say it and you feel it. And you feel the gratitude for it has already been done. That's the quantum model. It has already been done. The quantum model is all time is overlapping. The past, the present, the future, all time is overlapping. It's this really trippy understanding of time and space and locality. And my point is, thank your blessing for it is already done. And maybe you're curious about praying to God or, flowing into that space beyond religion, or maybe you love religion. And I just want to not coax you into that, but sort of open the door, because that's changed my life. I used to pray to all these different spirits and jaguar and hummingbird, and I still do. And I had a shift in my Saturn return and Saturn in Pisces around that one true source. And now I'm exploring Christ and Yeshua, and I'm just a mystic, my darling. I just love to have these experiments of faith where I put both feet in and I speak my prayers and I open my ears to hear whatever is being shared, even if it's silence. Because it's the practice that makes me so happy. It's not the destination. More on that later. I'm just so grateful to be here with you. And this really ushers us into a new phase of the podcast and a new phase of life. Because I know I'm not the only one that is really shedding and transforming and having fun doing so. Even in the moments where it's challenging. It's still really beautiful. Thank you for tuning in. I'm so excited to bring you more episodes, and please follow me on Instagram at winged.alchemy if you're not already. Send this episode to somebody you love. Share the love. Of course, leave a review if you're called. It means the world and helps other people get access to these messages. I will chat with you very soon. Love you so much. Thank you so much for tuning in today. I hope you absolutely loved this episode. And if you did, please remember to leave a review and share some love. I will see you in the next one.